So I'm doing an upgrade to the solar in my car, and today I got in the mail the first part of that, the new custom panels. I got some, so this is what it looks like in the past, um, and those panels have worked okay, but there's a few little tweaks that I get a couple percent here, a couple of percent there, and try to improve the overall performance. So these are the two for the hood, and we'll zoom in. There's a little cutout for the windshield washer fluid, and the spec sheet for it, 58 watts apiece. And then we have the roof. They're all pretty much flat black. And the spec sheet for that, 115 watts. And then the hatch, which again, pretty much flat black. And its spec sheet at 110 watts. So that brings us to the first couple of percent, and that is just the overall hood, hatch, and roof is going to be a few more watts of solar installed. So that's the first. The second is that these panels have these little micro bumps. There's like a texture here you can see, little micro lenses. They're only like half a millimeter, like they're tiny. But the purpose of those is that normally your peak power from a panel is when the sun's brightest, of course, and the sun's light is coming perpendicular to the surface of the panel itself. So what these little micro lenses do is that they attempt to help with that if the light's off a slight angle, just a little bit, in one direction or the other. It's not big, it's just a couple of percent, but it helps a little bit in those slightly less than perpendicular angles of light. The next couple of percent you'll notice is at the hatch. The old style had the panel under the glass, and so a little bit of the percentage of light is lost because the glass is not perfectly clear. It can get dirty, stuff like that. You can get a slight angle difference, some glare and so forth. So now I'm going to be moving the panel to the outside of that hatch glass, and that will help with it having just a few more percent of solar collection. The next couple of percent comes from the outer covering. Instead of a PET style, this is an ETFE clear coat on the outside. So what that means is that it is a type that is slightly clearer, so less light will be lost going through it. It's also transparent to UV, which means the UV will not damage it, and just a little bit more of the energy that goes through that spectrum. And ETFE is a low energy surface, which means it's a low stick. Think like Teflon style products. And so this is clear, and that will help reduce the amount of dirt that's covering the panels, which again will be just a few more percent. And the last couple little percent, in case you didn't notice, the maximum power point voltage of each of these panels has Lensun, the company that made these for me, matched them all. So instead of just 3 panels like I had before, all 3 of these have the voltage profiles matched. Which will be good because I'm going to be putting them in parallel, and because they're in parallel, because the voltages will be similar, they'll work slightly more efficiently this way. Okay, so the second part of the solar car project upgrade is kind of coinciding with the solarium solar heater project. I ordered, and you can see a picture here they sent me, made and ready to ship. Hooray! I don't quite have them yet, so this is a little premature, and I got to do some validation testing before I put them in the car. But they are so multi-wall. In this case, 4 walls, 3 air gaps, polycarbonate sheeting, used for greenhouses and such. The theory here for the car is that it'll allow an air gap under the panels potentially if the testing works out, and that will allow the panels to stay a little cooler because the efficiency of the panel drops a little bit as it gets hotter. So that might help them with that a little bit and help reduce how much air conditioning I might need by preventing some of that heat from getting into the car, or reducing how much anyway. This particular brand, Tonon Polycarbonate, has a product option here down as low as 6 millimeters. So all 4 walls combined, 3 air spaces, is supposed to be a total of 6 millimeters. So like I said, I gotta do some testing and see how well it works. But that might be nice, like about a quarter of an inch might work well.